Salam, greetings, my dearest hearts. Greetings, and I welcome you.
Alaikum salam.
Alaikum salam, salam. What a very beautiful occasion. Indeed, a celebration of love, and in all the ways that love is used and expressed and given, received. This is what is life. This is what allows for life to grow, to heal, to flourish, is to know the very reason for your existence and to recognize you are not human, really. You are soul, you are spirit. And the more you remember this and the more you come back to yourself, you realize it doesn't matter truly what happens in the world around you if you have love, if you know love, and in the very purest sense. Love that is within you, love given, love received, not sought, not looked for in others, but celebrated when it is seen or witnessed as a smile, as an embrace, as a point of knowing and giving. Indeed, this energy of love has come to be known in ways that are cliché, that are over-expressed, and yet without it, life is very dour, very difficult, unfulfilling. I am here now by the grace of a beloved soul, by the grace of a soul who knows who they are and knows indeed why they are here and what this life is about for them. Knows service. And therefore, when there is a soul who is gracious to become that bridge between worlds, to traverse, to move into altered states of consciousness, to exist consciously, interdimensionally, and still find a way to be here, to tread as lightly as possible, and to love as much as possible, then indeed there is a most loving relationship. This is not possible otherwise. Such vessels for light are rare. Of course, it is important to recognize what it is you are learning to understand about your own nature, about your own soul, what your life is about. And to learn that when you bring what is sacred into this world, when you bring what is beautiful, what is of love, then you have something that cannot be lost, cannot ever be taken, because it is not measured physically. It is measured in an energy that brings light to life in the entire universe. The soul that makes my presence here possible is loved by many souls. Some indeed that are considered gods and goddesses themselves. And it is important to understand that these things are real, and that you are learning to remember what is magic, what is miracle, what is life, and to seek those who support that pathway, that hold the door open for you once you find it, or who will walk beside you to find your own heart and hold that door. So easy it is in this world when you are pulled into the physical to become lost in the seeking. When you know, you know. And therefore, through this grace I am here. And it is my deep pleasure to be so. What wonderful conversations we do have in this world and in my garden when you sleep. We shall have a wonderful gathering tonight. Mm-hmm. It's going to go on for a long time. It doesn't matter what time you get there. It's going on. It started already. Indeed, it's warming up. Suresh is there singing the most beautiful mantras. Wonderful. You haven't met Suresh yet. Oh, you will. Suresh is a most beloved being. And indeed, just go with Suresh on your lips. You'll discover. So in this moment, I'm wanting to remind you of why I come. Yes, I come to support you, to talk with you about life and your own journey, to help you, to discover your own meaning and purpose for this period. And I'm also here to remind you of what is happening, of what you are participating in currently. You are participating in a movement of consciousness that is vast. You have the entire galaxy, nay, universe, absolutely cheering you on. You are the wave makers right now. You are turning the tide. And as you turn the tide, and as that tide turns, everything turns to chaos around you. Don't let what you see happening in your world blind you to what you know is happening within you. It happens within you first. The external world turns to chaos before what is within you comes into the world tangibly. When you want this world to be more peaceful, more full of love, more what you know you've come to help, turn here, bring peace within yourself, bring peace into your life, and you are going to make a difference. It is important to remember to practice. When life at this time is difficult, challenging for you, your role is to stand tall in your heart, in the love and the light within you, and embody it. Be that point of calm and love where there is chaos around you. Do not join fear. Do not take sides. Do not become divided in yourself or with others. Be different. If others are difficult, be calm. If others are fearful, be calm. Be loving. If there is distrust, if there is hurt and pain around you and in others, justified, dare I say mandated, can I use that word? Dear hearts, be calm. Don't join it. Don't react. Don't ignore it, but don't react. Acknowledge what you know and feel, but Don't lose you in this process. This is what moving into a time of consciousness, a time of light, ascension, whatever you want to term it, means. It doesn't happen all of a sudden because everything's nice and pleasant and calm and now you can be. It happens, it is born through you being steady and balanced and loving and calm, despite it. Because you're choosing it, you're choosing the new, you're choosing the world to come. You're choosing to hold the light despite the fear. And when you know that, when you understand it, you will make sense of the code. You will make sense of what you've been learning and why you've been healing and why you've been clearing everything out, why you've been sorting out your lives, why you've been choosing a path, even when it is painful and difficult, when you've been making changes, when you've been reclaiming yourself, when you've been releasing the past. You're making space within you, within your life for the future. It begins with that calm, and it begins with listening to self, knowing who you are, knowing that inner voice, knowing what feels right to you, so that you can interpret what is occurring, and you can navigate your way despite it all. This is not needing to be who is doing what and who is right, who is wrong. Don't get pulled into it. Don't let it be about what doesn't feel good and science. All of that means nothing. It means nothing if you lose you. It means nothing if you lose each other. Even if others divide, reject. Remember, fear speaks fiercely, loudly. Remember who you are and what you are choosing to do and to be. And right now, you're really beginning it. It began a little while ago, but you're really in it, dear hearts. It's really happening. If you are sad, if you are distressed, if you are disappointed, if you are facing very, very difficult decisions, try to remember not to measure yourself by the physical life you live. This life is temporary. None of you know how long it is, just as well. And it is important to realize that whatever you gain here in the world physically stays in the world physically. Whatever you gain within yourself goes with you forever. The words stay with you, are a part of you, color you. Your thoughts build your perception. You are the most significant and important thing. And yes, you need the physical to live the physical life. I'm not forgetting you. But it is important not to value it over you. You will be put to the test many times. And you will be invited to make a choice. And you will learn what is real, what is not. And you will learn what to listen to, what to trust. What it is that will truly be yours. It's a difficult, challenging time for you. But I came with a vital message. Know what you feel. And I will be speaking it a dozen different ways over and over on automatic repeat. Forever and ever and ever. Amen. Simply because you forget. You forget, and you're learning every day, every layer of what do you feel means. You're learning to understand, not to interpret it mentally. How to shift from the mind to the heart. How to move from thinking to feeling. And not only feelings that are disturbing and distressing, although they can be loud and occupy a lot of space and time, you're moving into what you feel. And that inner guidance, which is second nature to you because it's how you function and exist as a spiritual being before and after incarnation. And as you learn to know this energy during incarnation, then, dearest hearts, you know how to interpret the world and your place in it. There's so much that can put you in your head. Fear particularly. What do you see? What do you hear all around you? Fear. What if? What if? What if? Others have had another message, constant for some time. Stay in the now, stay present. In the now, in the present, in the calm, what you feel rules. Sometimes the feelings are not pleasant and easy. Generally, what you know in the calm is worth listening to, worth paying attention to. These are not just trends. These are not just spiritual popularities, things that come and go. These are perennial. These are the steps those have gone before you, teachers, spiritual beings have known, practiced, lived and listened to, accessed in many ways, meditation, yoga, contemplation, prayer, have accessed many ways, many times. You are simply learning to remember this language and why it is so vital now when other language is failing. And it is failing because it's generally negative, it's generally fearful. Love language is here, yes, but it's wobbling. So you are encouraged, you are urged to remember this energy, this language, and stand in your light, stand tall, be calm, relax, be present, be love, stand in your love, and watch what happens. If you're cold and in the dark and someone sits quietly radiating light and warmth, what are you going to notice? What are you going to feel? Why would someone be so calm in the middle of crises or disaster or threat? Because they know it's not real. And the human mind can scream and yell, but this might happen and that happens and this isn't possible and this is fallen away. Take every detour as a sign from the universe right now. Take every disappointment, every hesitance, take everything that happens right at this time as a sign from the universe that says, wait, something better, timing is better, something is better. Don't force, don't react, be patient. It's not a game, but it is an important process right now. Conditions are volatile. It's like a storm. And you cannot sail calmly, pleasantly in the direction of your choosing. You have to tack a lot. All right? You have to jibe a lot. You have to go back and forward. And it will feel not very relaxing. It will feel stressful. Threats from every side. Everything you hold dear, everything that means something to you. And all of it, your mind will have what you call a field day with. I believe that's another word for a fair. Yes, a country fair.
Correct.
All right, I'm getting there. So in this manner, really understand, even as you're aware of what is fearful and threatening, a part of you is standing calm. A part of you is in the light, in the love. Staying present, watching, observing, and already choosing to hold the energy that is growing. Don't fear. You will know and you will hear others who are voice of reason and calm, equally speaking in the world, coming forward from places of knowledge, wisdom, across the whole range of humanity right now. And those souls, those beings, they have a role to play, somewhat even more specifically. But many of you, as you stand in your love and your light and you stand tall, you are uniting collectively with the energy of others who are remembering to do it, and gradually it gets easier, it becomes more consistent, and you start to remember what this time is all about. It's a very different process, a very different time. Some of you have incarnations where you would remember riders on horses brandishing swords and axes. I'm sure you wouldn't rather that, but it would still feel just as threatening right now, in a different way. It's not that different, it's just a different time. And it is important to realize that you do have more of yourself, more of a choice than you would have a few hundred years ago, where you could maybe outrun the horse or the tip of a sword, or not. And so, right now, you are choosing. Every moment you're choosing. But you are not alone. Those such as I, who've come and gone in this world in various forms and ways, are here to remind you, to shine some light toward you so that you might realize what you are, who you are here, and what is within you. That you might realize again and again this love. That you don't lose it in the midst of overwhelming physical crises. So many ways that fear, darkness is talking and shouting right now. So many ways that you have it coming to you. Do all you can to turn it down, to turn it off. Not to be ignorant, but don't saturate yourselves. Try to maintain yourself in the midst of information and in the midst of process. Be gentle. Come and go. Grieve, yes, grieve for the world changing. Grieve for the way it is changing. But don't forget to celebrate or feel a little hopeful when the bigger rays of light start to become apparent, and they will. Light begets light, and if you hold your light, you will very soon start to experience evidence of light. Evidence, some will say, are of God or angels. Some will say of spirit, guides, that will appear and will be present for you. And in the right time, vessels of light will be here physically. And you will experience what some have often called revelation. And that is a good and appropriate term, because it really will be a very large realization. You will emerge. Don't measure it. Don't wish it gone. Just turn to love. Turn to that love. You've all been practicing every day in your own issues and dramas and difficulties. Your own personal challenges have been teaching you. Don't react. Be loving, be forgiving. Remember to open, to heal. If you can do this within yourself, you will remain more calm in the face of what is going on around you. You don't have to join it. And you don't have to fight it to stop it. It has to happen. It's been set in motion. It has to play out. Trust that you chose to be here at this time, because you believed you knew love enough to bring yours here. Your love. Remember that. And it really will be worthwhile. So I'm here, dear ones, because I love you. Because you are love. And because this is a time of remembering. And it is a time of really considering where you are and why. I can only be here because of one soul. Many have said, well, if she doesn't want the job, can I have it? Indeed, it has been said. Or she is about to give birth, she's going to give it up, she's not going to do it. Never fear, just a few weeks later. It is important to understand. Indeed, when I did mention to Yasmeen, someone wants your job. And she looked at me and she smiled and she lifted an eyebrow. And I knew immediately her little question, do they know what that means? Do they know what that will mean to the nervous system? Do they know what it will be like to have 1,000 volts of energy in the body? Do they know what it will feel like to fall backward from a cliff? To surrender so completely to love. And it is love, my friends. It is love that permits and love that allows. The deepest loving trust. But every time I show herself to me, at times, not every time perhaps, but some very meaningful times, she's reduced to tears. I don't know what to do. Love creates tears. But it is a love equally that when she smiles and conveys her love, somehow the gap gets smaller.
Yeah.
And therefore she draws ever close. Not that I'm about to take her home just yet.
Thank you.
That's really good.
It has been discussed once or twice. But it is important to realize, dear hearts, that there is a realization to be had yet just about who you have with you. And that will come in time. Love is this work.
You've set her daughter off, Raman, your other protege. She's just messaging me, quite moved by everything you're saying.
My dearest heart, Satavan. Satavan, Satavan. You know. And that is why you chose. That is why you chose. So, indeed, as years go by, I am here. Time is but a short thing. And indeed, there are many other things possible because of time, because of surrender, because of spending time in another state, in another realm. Things you can do, dear hearts, through your meditation, through the hours in contemplation. All things that connect you to truth, to love. I'm not here to have a big lecture. Just a very friendly banter. And I was wondering, in one sense, what it would be like if I just sat here and we just chat. If I don't have a topic and I don't have a conversation and we just say hello.
Like we sometimes do in the garden.
Correct, indeed. Except that we don't have any pomegranate mint tea.
No, there's a thought.
That is waiting. That is waiting. So I can sit here and say hello. How are you? How is your heart? How is your life? Are you maintaining your love? What is it like for you to be living right now in a time of crisis? That it has finally reached your shores. You had a wonderful buffer for a while, did you not? You had a wonderful buffer. Gradually, you were not to be allowed not to join the world. You thought you might have your own paradise down here, yes? In this part of the earth.
That's the thing that changed, isn't it? That, Yasmeen and I were discussing about how something changed.
Correct.
And that's where the influence came in and changed things.
Correct.
We weren't allowed to miss out.
You must be brought into the fold. Yes. Well, there's some interesting things to unfold in the next year. I won't join the surprise. I'll just leave it with you.
Well, tonight is much more about the celebration of the love that you bring, Raman, and how blessed we are all to be sitting with you in circle again for years. So I am grateful personally, of course, that you and Yasmeen haven't decided to call this short, and I know many others are as well.
It is important, of course, that life is fulfilling, that it is enjoyable. And I did for a moment believe that they might want to keep her in India.
That was a possibility.
It was spoken of, yes, indeed. then her nerves would really have grown and the past life restimulation might have occurred.
True.
Just a little. Well, she might have been better at it this time. I say that with great love.
She would have been well supported with it.
Indeed so. But it is important to trust that at this time you measure things in years and you're not so far from 40 years of celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps we can do something big.
A little grander, eh?
I believe
grander.
so. I'll talk with you about it.
Thank you.
Try to keep it a surprise from someone, but that's
That's
very
not always
difficult.
easy. There may be one or two things that we could keep as a surprise.
Let us try, shall we?
We will.
Yes, indeed. She just sees through everything. Indeed. That is rather a fun game.
It is. Trying to trick her into not noticing things.
Correct. Correct. Should maybe have not been born under the sign of precision and detail. Yes. Indeed. So in this time it is good for you just to take note of your journey and what you have learned and to feel, what do you want to learn? What would you like to know more about yourself? You will have been noticing, my friends, that I am offering you ancient teaching.
Yes, been so precious.
And these are important skills for souls who know they want to live very consciously. And every time you take those steps, you awaken something more within you. And even greater love comes to support you. So really understand that is the language now. It is love. It is understanding that this is the answer, even as you face the world. Do all you can to nurture, to grow, to develop your heart. And it will guide you so surely, even as the mind is loud. It will be there. My dearest hearts, indeed I do thank you for your love. It does make a difference to my beloved. It does allow her to understand that what she permits really then supports you. I offer to you, each of you, my blessings, and for every one of you, in the coming weeks, there's going to be a gift that will come in an unexpected way. And I want you to be open to it. Take it into your heart this moment. Know that it will have my name on it with a lot of love. Salam to you, my dearest hearts. Salam alaikum. Good office.